Hello, I'm sitting in my van. Well, I imagine you can see that. This video is a little bit different and a bit weird because I'm actually filming this on a bank holiday Monday and it's going out on the Saturday following the Easter bank holiday, so it's a few days later. And also, I'm back from where I'm going. At least I will be back, at least as I record this in the future I will be back, but it hasn't happened as far as you're concerned. Confused? Don't worry, it's very confusing when you're trying to make content for a week hence and you haven't actually done the things you're going to be saying that you have done. Yes. Anyway, the point of this video is really to give you a bit of an insight into some of the little minor adaptations I've done to my van. If you've been following my site, the channel for a while, you'll know that I have a van and I enjoy getting out, and the lovely Julia and I had a fantastic time recently in Ian's Field near Liss in Hampshire, and Ian very kindly let us stay over the night, a couple of nights. I was in a tent, Julia was in the van. We did a bit of ploughing on Ian's tractor. We went to see the grave of Sweet Fanny Adams, and we had a fantastic time, and we're going to be going back and sowing some seed, growing some wheat and all sorts of exciting things there. But I'm now on my own, or I will be. So this video is the result of... No, how do I explain this? I will be back when this goes out, but for me, I have yet to go. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm going on Wednesday of the week that's just gone, and we'll be going down to Plymouth to meet up with Tim Tricker for a few days. Now, he's staying in a hotel, I'm staying in my van. I shall be doing some solo stuff, and he will be doing some stuff with me. He's also taking his daughter Taylor back to university. That's where she is at the moment. So I want to show you some of the things that I'm doing in the van to prepare for that trip, and then in the following videos you'll see me out on the road and doing stuff, and hopefully using some of these things that I have got organised in the van. Phew, that was difficult, wasn't it? One of the things you'll know that I've opened up the bulkhead, which means I can see out of the front window and bring in a bit of light in there, which is rather good. I will be doing, at least I hope to be doing, some discreet park-ups. So I don't quite know where I'm going to be staying as such, and that will unfold as the week goes on. And obviously I shall post these videos sequentially as we go. But I've been using the rubber sheet that Merlin gave me very kindly. Thank you, Merlin. And it works really well. And whilst Julia and I were away, we tried this rubber sheet to see how how lightproof it was. And I can tell you, it was very lightproof. It was a brilliant thing. I need to do something a little bit better for my side window, because at the moment I've just been putting in a blanket, a grey blanket, but it's not as good. So I need to find perhaps a better solution for that. If I had another piece of rubber, I would definitely do that. And pinning it on with magnets has worked really, really well. Now, as you know, in the van I've got this table, which is a flap-up table like that, and it has a table leg. Now I'm doing all this with one hand holding the camera, so this may not work terribly well because I want to show you some of the little minor adaptations that I've done. Now I'm going to try and get this table off. It does actually slide off very easily like this, and I'm just going to plonk this over by the door. By the way, let's shove it over there for a second. Hanging up over here, Lisa L has sent in these rather beautiful little pixie characters of Julia and I, and we took them, although we didn't film them very well, when we were down in Ian's Field. Now, one of the little jobs I wanted to do, because I have here my kitchen unit. There's not much light here, so I don't know how much you'll see, but in the kitchen unit, underneath here, there's a couple of shelves, and in the shelves I have my various bits of plates and saucepans and various things, and on the other side I have a similar setup, but it has my washing up bowl and things like that. But one of the problems was that the plastic storage box that holds everything was sliding about, and I put little runners in to make sure that it would stop going left and right and falling off the back, but I didn't put one at the front. So today, what I mean by that is these little runners here, which are about 1 centimetre square, I think. So now, when in travelling, this basically can't move anywhere. It's just a tiny little improvement, which has been very useful. Now, I've had this layout, I guess, nearly a year now, and it's amazing how you just accumulate things in the van, and then after a while you start to realise, actually, I'm not using any of that. A big transformation in here that I've done in the van is this little unit. Hang on, I'm on all knees because you can't stand up in my van. Down here. This was a little, almost like a Dexian shelf, only it's made of aluminium, so it's very lightweight. Let me move my table back out the way. Here we go. That can be out the way there. And now I'm going to just point the camera down here. Hope you can still hear me. But this contains, now, I bought some plastic storage boxes from the supermarket near me, and that's very handy. So I've got boots and gas in one, and then in the other we've got the kettle and cutlery, teas and coffee, and then one which is just all sorts of things. It's got my toothpaste in, toilet rolls, bungee things, anything that comes to mind really. And the great thing about that is it's just very useful for immediately grabbing hold of stuff. In the past, I was either putting things in the cupboards behind me in the kitchen unit, or with the boots, I would putting them under the bed and the seat down in this little area here. But I have now cleared that out because I want that to be where I put my clothes, possibly my camera and any other sort of important pieces when I'm sleeping here. Because in the past I've just had them in boxes on the floor, and then I've had to keep shunting the boxes around, which hasn't been ideal. So again, I went over to the supermarket and I've bought some of these very cheap plastic storage boxes. They've worked really well. Well, I think they work really well. I'm saying I haven't actually used them, but I'm thinking of putting, you know, all my smalls in there in terms of clothes, socks, pants, and that sort of thing, vests and things. I've got 2 of those, and then I can put jumpers, shirts, and trousers either in another one or in this big cavity space here. So they are well out the way, and the doors, of course, slide shut. One of the things that I've been carrying in my van, transit van, for those of you who don't know, is my loo. Now, when I bought the van, it came with this loo. I forget the name of the make, but it's a cassette toilet. Here we go. It's called Thetford, I think. Thetford, like the place. That may be the thing. And there it is. It's right on the end. Of course, people said, oh, do you have to open the door to use the loo? No, you can just sit on there quite happily. But the bowl rotates. I can't demonstrate it without opening the door. But the bowl here will actually move all the way round if I want it to. But it actually goes at this angle, so you can sit this way if you need to sit, or you just crouch and use a wee. I try not to use the wee too much because it can fill it up quite easily, so if there's a useful tree nearby, or I've seen other campers have a separate bottle for number ones, shall we say that? We will. I have yet to decorate the interior of the van, or indeed insulate it or anything like that, but I found even on hot days, just by opening the doors, you get a good enough breeze, and it does cool the place down, which is rather fantastic. So I'm very thrilled with that. I still have my air mattress, which here acts as a nice backdrop when you're sitting, so you can sit there quite happily, and if you want, put your feet up like this, which is lovely. That's worked really well. And of course, there's a very thin mattress on on the seat anyway, just for sitting on, so you're not bouncing about. You could sleep on it, but I think it probably wouldn't be that comfortable. And that was given to me by a chap called Pete, who also goes under the name of Colonel Cragratty, and it's actually, I think, one of those lounger cushions, but it works great because I can lie down here and have a kip in the afternoon, so that's really good. The other thing that Julia and I tried out actually, and I hadn't really experimented with it when we were camping, is if you take down the bulkhead now, the screen I suppose, because it hasn't actually got an official bulkhead, you can, not only can you reach across and play the radio or put the radio on, but you can turn the engine on, which will heat up the heater and then blow some warm air into the main living space, which is nice, whereas when you had the bulkhead, of course, you couldn't do that. So that's quite handy, and you have a bit of extra light, which is lovely. You can see around, and then when you've had enough of that, the rubber sheet goes back in, and it works quite well. I've got my lights up here, which are just around the side, and they're plugged into the leisure battery, which is rather handy. Although I know that they're coming unglued because of the heat of the metal, which they're glued to, which is a bit of a shame. And I know people were saying that's likely to happen. And I was using, I can't remember, some sort of epoxy resiny glue, but it does seem to have melted that. I'm not quite sure what the solution for that will be to keep that in touch, but one of the things I do love and I want to get is some more little miniature magnets which could hold it where they are a bit droopy, you know, hanging down. I will be taking another string of lights with me which I want to demonstrate and test out, which I'll take with my Power Oak power unit, which we were using to charge up the laptop and charge up our phones, and we only had it for 2 nights, but it barely used any juice out of it. This is like it's almost the size of a car battery or a leisure battery, and it's 12 volt, but it also does 240 volts to charge up or operate the laptop. So that was an amazing piece. It takes, I don't know how long, about 5 hours to charge up completely, but once it's charged, it discharges really, really economically. Obviously you wouldn't be able to use a hairdryer or anything like, you know, a toaster or a cooker on it, but for all those utilities for a few days. And I'm staying with I'm seeing Tim, who's staying at a hotel, so I guess if it does discharge more than I need, I can plug that in and charge it up there. And I guess if one was really stuck and you went to a campsite, you could plug it into the electricity on a campsite on a hookup, and I guess that would work really well. So that's nice. So yes, the decoration is one of the other things that we found is we were using up quite a lot of water. Now normally I only need on a daytime just one of these. I forget how many, that's 5 litre bottle, which I bought from the supermarket, and then I just keep refilling the bottle. However, we got through that pretty quick, and in 2 days I guess we used that and one of these, which I don't know how many litres, is that 10 or 20 litres in there? So I probably will ensure that I can fill that up back at the hotel from Tim's place, just to make sure I got lots of water. Or I dare say you can get water probably from garages as well. Don't know how clean it is, that's the thing. Is that drinking water, and how would I know? Anyway, lots of simple little modifications. I used to have books over on this side of the desk area here, or the kitchenette as I like to think of it, but there's a useful little shelf here, and I thought actually cups in here, nice and handy. You just want stuff that you can grab quickly for a cup of tea. One book, and the first aid kit that somebody sent me, thank you very much for that. Magnets I'm finding very useful. These magnets, I got these tiny little hooks. These are little hook magnets, so you can stick them up on the roof and just hang, you know, a jumper or jacket on there. They are very powerful, So they work well, and they're just handy for sticking up things like tea towels and bits and bobs. So I should probably get some more of those in due course. So hopefully that's it. I've got my cooker, we've got the usual things. I'm taking plenty of gas. Be interesting to see. Now, I asked a question the other day, what do you do with your gas canisters? Tim came round and he said the best thing to do is when they're empty, pierce them. All the gas and any extra fuel that might be lying in the bottom will disappear, and then you can just throw them in the well, they're metal, aren't they? So you can throw them in the recycling bin, which would be good. So what I will now do is go and make a list of all the things that I need, because I do like to have a list so I can check everything and make sure I've got everything that I need and get on my way. Apparently it's 5 hours from where I am in Worthing to Plymouth, so I'm going to pootle down on the first day, so there'll be a bit of travelling and a few stops en route and that sort of thing, having a look, maybe go for a walk, I don't know. And then down in Plymouth, I will see some stuff in the city and all of the, maybe some historic stuff, but also probably try and go and see some of the local villages and a bit of the coastline in that area. That's the plan. So anyway, there we go. I hope that's been of interest. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch up with you very soon. When I'm back, I shall edit them up and you'll see the next episode. So take care and thumbs up. If you enjoy these sort of videos, do let me know. This one's been rough and ready and not to my normal standard, but do support the channel and I'll be able to get out and make some more trips very soon. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. Bye for now.